Felix Ndahinda is a researcher and analyst for the Great Lakes region. He joins us now from Tilburg in the Netherlands. Welcome to the program, Felix. Despite this imminent peace deal signing in Washington, we are seeing intensified fighting in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. What does this say about the real situation on the ground?
The situation is still pretty much critical, and there's no sign that at least on the ground, that this agreement in Washington, the mass that is being conducted in Washington, will have an immediate, let's say, echo on the ground. Fighting is still going on. And of course, we know that many of the parties are not involved in this particular deal. The M23 AFC is not involved, but also the many local fighting forces are not directly involved. And as such, then, how much what is agreed in Washington will translate on the ground still remain very much to be seen.
We know Rwanda continues to deny backing the M23 rebels, and that's despite some UN experts saying that its troops are actually directing the fighters. How central is this issue, do you think, in terms of ensuring that a peace deal take effect?
Unless there is something that Rwanda agrees to, which is to use the language that has been even used in the agreement, Rwanda does agree to the fact that it did adopt what it calls defensive measures in relation to what is happening in Congo, which is what has been interpreted by the many reports as direct support to M23. While Rwanda does not accept that, the mere presence in Washington at least addresses the issue that we know for a fact that there is a problem between the DRC government and the Rwandan government, and has been a source of tension for many months now, nearly the last 2 years. And as such, it's critical at least that issues that have been raised, including those contained in the agreement, be addressed. And from Rwanda, most of the time, the claim has been that the DRC has collaborated with the FDLR. FDLR do use the Eastern Congo as the launch ground for attacks in Rwanda, but also have been victimizing many Congolese, including Rwanda speaking populations of Eastern Congo, in collaboration with other local armed groups. So with all of that background in mind, addressing all of those issues, including particularly, more critically, addressing the issues that were discussed in Doha, is very critical to the success as well of the agreement that is being signed in Washington. So linking the two should, to my mind, have been quite some direct kind of, through some direct process of linking the two. Even if the actors may be different, there are many interlinkages that that condition the success of one process to the success of the other.
Now, this deal calls for both the disarmament of FDLR forces as well as Rwandan forces. Why has this issue repeatedly derailed attempts for peace between the two sides going back decades now? Because,
the simple answer really would be because that is always a promise that has been, let's say, crashed down into agreements, but never really implemented in a way. For the last more or less 20 plus years, the use of Congolese soil by different forms of Rwandan rebel groups, which have taken many different names across the time, to launch attacks in Rwanda or to organize in Rwanda or even to administer territory in Congo, has been a stumbling block on the peace efforts in the region, at least between the countries, but also within the dynamics of conflict within the DRC itself. So most of the time, resolving it has been just a matter of either absence of political will or absence actually of military means to resolve the problem. Many people will understand that Congo is a very vast country with vast territories, some more or less escaping to governmental control for many years, some very remote, very inaccessible, some very forested, and so on. So it has, which is the reason why it has been easy for many armed groups to operate from there. So the mere fact that for many years, either there has not been, depending on the time, enough political will to disarm them, or capabilities within the Congolese state itself to disarm that group, which at a given time has been many times, including recently been accused of collaborating with.
Okay, Felix Ndahinda, we'll have to leave it there. Really good to get your analysis on this story. Thank you.